we very much focused on one of the householders who got this research project, and I actually went to one of the interviews in her home, so I had a bit of a snapshot of her life, and kind of Elizabeth inspired all of us a little bit, and we were thinking about various elements of her life that she was struggling with, and there were elements in her life that we could see that she's passionate about, but not quite knowing what to do about it. So she was very inspired by the fact that this owl monitor that she was given by the council had such an impact on boiling the kettle, for example. So she had a family that she lived with for many years, and when they left home, she continued to fill the kettle till it's full. And then they showed the amount, how much less it actually consumed by putting in this glass supplement. And it kind of blew her mind. And she kept thinking about it, and so she had the owl monitor there with the numbers on it every day, looking at it. It didn't really mean anything, though, to her. She was trying to look for relevance in it, other than the kettle, but it didn't really. It was just there amongst her belongings. She didn't like the numbers on the monitor, so she wanted something that was very, a little bit easier to understand, that had more meaning in her life. She's very passionate about cooking, part of her culture. She always did fantastic dinners for her family. She carried on doing that in her local community, and she would also, when she took her meals to her neighbours sort of in more need, she was telling stories about how she was saving energy in the kettle story. So we kind of like put all these things together in our discussions and came up with different ways that we would be able to help Elizabeth out. So we came up with a system that we called home training. And it focused very much on the kitchen, because that's where she loves to be.
So we saw the problem breaking down to really three or four bits. First bit was being able to visualise the effect of what she was doing, and personalising that to her and making the information relevant. So some of the ideas that one of the early groups were talking about in terms of finding norms, finding ways of interpreting that data. But then, really importantly, knowing what to do about it. So being able to diagnose how her actions were leading to that energy consumption. Then finding a way of changing those patterns and turning them into habits, and then sharing those habits more widely. So our solution?
Our solution you'll see on a video in a minute, but in summary, it's a 1-month challenge where Elizabeth is loaned a smart meter, perhaps from, sorry, not a smart meter, an energy monitor, perhaps from the council, an energy monitor which comes with an interface that monitors, but also teaches and motivates. And the motivation is community-based. So if we roll the video, you'll get a feel for what that is. We started with the kitchen, and we intend to take challenges one by one.
So this, it's got a very quick sign-up process, but recognises that she's not very tech-savvy. It's not Wi-Fi or anything involved. There's a 3G chip inside the device that she's loaned.
Explains the community aspect, says week 1, let's do a diagnostic, so get to know my kitchen, then weeks 2 to 4, help me understand how my kitchen's performing and what I need to do about
it. She would always have the interface on in the background in the kitchen, so we identified the kettle, hob and oven as being major drains on the system, and so we're focusing on those 3 things. That goes way too fast for me to
in her case, the kettle was still not performing, her kettle habits were not performing as well as we're not improving since week 1, so she got some extra training. Oh dear.
One of the key things that so you're going to have this device in your kitchen next to your hob or wherever. It's not blasting up stats at you all the time, but there's a screen where you can see like different appliances that you have in the kitchen, and it will change colour depending on whether you're starting to save money on them or whether you're spending more. So to try and give some sort of indication, but without being very stats memory, basically people don't tend to be able to use that or so.
I'm very taken by the idea of being able to share these ideas amongst the community. So being able to use this as part of something that group together and pass it amongst your friends, or you have a group of running this in parallel, comparing the performance. And so that passes through the community, trains people, and then allows you to build up a database and look at the comparing stats more widely and so on. But the intention being to try and pass on the training effect through relatively simple devices that are relatively easily transferred between homes. So a bit like a sort of chain letter that can pass around the world.
We gave quite a bit of thought to how the information is communicated to her at the end, but it flashed up very quickly. But Lynn, do you want to talk?
Yeah, so once she's kind of completed this whole kind of challenge, at the end you'll find that there'll be like well done screen, like well done Elizabeth, you've saved 20 pounds per month this time around. And then the data will also be translated in terms of, well, you've also saved 5,000 hours worth of television time as well. So kind of manifesting that data in a different way that's relevant to her would be one of the kind of landing screens after she completed that. And then also at the end, before it says to pass it on, it says something like you've inspired a whole borough actually kind of adopted your way of energy savings, then you'd be able to actually close down a whole power plant. So things like that will make that experience a little bit more.
So trying to represent the benefits on a personal level, and also if everybody acted in the same way,